Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off our journey today with the fascinating story of the land between two rivers. In this presentation, we'll explore the incredible history of Mesopotamia, often called the world's first superpower. We'll uncover how this ancient civilization pioneered innovation, wielded immense power, and left a lasting legacy. So, let's dive into this captivating chapter of human history together. Let's take a closer look at the roots of the first civilizations. This is where people first settled in large numbers to farm and thrive. These early communities laid the foundation for complex societies that would shape human history. The key to this development was the fertile plains situated between two major rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates. These rivers provided the essential resources needed for agriculture, enabling people to grow crops and sustain larger populations. Interestingly, the name Mesopotamia comes from Greek, meaning the world between two rivers. This captures the significance of this region as the birthplace of civilization. When we say where it all began, we're referring to this area often called the Cradle of Civilization. It's where some of the earliest cities, writing systems, and cultures emerged, setting the stage for future advancements. So, understanding this region helps us see how early human societies organized themselves, and why this particular location was so crucial to our shared history. Abundant crops and a booming population. When we look at this region, it's clear that the growth wasn't just accidental. It was driven by the land's incredible fertility. The rivers played a crucial role here. They deposited fine, fertile silt onto the land, turning the surrounding plains into rich farmland that could support large communities. This process created the perfect environment for agriculture to flourish, which in turn supported the population growth. Now, the magic behind all this is the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, really the lifeblood of the region. These rivers didn't just provide water, they shaped the very landscape and economy of Mesopotamia. And speaking of water, it's truly the secret to Mesopotamia's success. Without these rivers, the region's ability to sustain such a thriving civilization simply wouldn't have been possible. So, in essence, the rivers were not just natural features. They were the foundation of everything that made Mesopotamia a remarkable place to live. So, in this slide, we see that the land was quite dry, which made farming challenging. Resources like stone and wood were also scarce, so they had to import these essential materials from elsewhere. This situation created a real trade-off, forcing them to find ways to adapt and manage their environment better. One major innovation was developing advanced irrigation systems, which helped them control and distribute water more efficiently. This was crucial for agriculture, which was their main activity, growing crops and raising livestock. Through these efforts, what started as simple farming gradually transformed into a more complex society. Instead of just farmers, they became founders, building a rich, thriving community. This slide highlights how environmental challenges pushed them to innovate, ultimately supporting the growth of a sophisticated and resilient society. It's a great example of how necessity drives progress and shapes civilizations. This slide highlights an interesting paradox about Mesopotamia. Despite being a place that was quite affluent and relatively unguarded, it was also seen as an enticing and simple mark for invaders. Basically, its wealth and prosperity made it very tempting for those looking to conquer and take resources. Now, you might wonder, if it was so wealthy, why wasn't it better protected? Well, the irony here is that the cities were actually fortified and had defenses against neighboring threats. Yet, the land's richness, its fertile soil, made it a constant target for invaders who wanted to control its valuable resources. This brings us to the core problem. Mesopotamia was too good to be true in a way. Its fertile land and wealth attracted many, making it a prime prize for various groups throughout history. So all these factors, its wealth, strategic location, and resource richness, explain why everyone wanted a piece of Mesopotamia. It's a perfect example of how prosperity can also bring vulnerability. Let's talk about some of the most influential early civilizations. They are credited with many firsts, including some really fundamental inventions like writing and the wheel, which have shaped human history. Their legacy is huge, especially because they developed the first city-states, like which served as centers of culture, politics, and innovation. The overall big idea here is that this region represents the earliest known civilization in Mesopotamia, often called the Cradle of Civilization. Now, when we look at the first pioneers of this civilization, we focus on the Sumerians. They are truly the trailblazers, where civilization as we know it actually began. Understanding their contributions helps us see how human societies organized, innovated, and grew into the complex cultures we study today. Let's talk about Babylon, a city renowned for its stunning architecture, starting with the Ishtar Gate, which is truly a visual splendor. This gate is not only beautiful, but also symbolizes the grandeur of Babylon. Moving on, Babylon is also famous for the Hammurabi Code, one of the earliest and most significant examples of written law in human history. It marked a major step forward in establishing rules and order within society. This brings us to the concept of the rule of law, which was central to Babylonian civilization. Their laws helped maintain stability and justice, setting a foundation that influenced future legal systems. The city's grand capital, Babylon itself, was home to iconic structures like the Tower of Babel, a ziggurat that symbolized their religious and cultural ambitions. Overall, Babylon was a powerhouse of lawmaking and cultural achievement, embodying power and glory, and leaving a lasting legacy in history. Now, let's take a closer look at the advanced iron weapons and siege warfare that really set the Assyrians apart. These innovations gave them a significant edge in battle, allowing them to conquer and control vast territories. Their military technology was not only powerful, but also ruthless, which contributed to their reputation as empire builders. The Assyrians built their empire through relentless conquest, using their advanced weaponry and strategic siege tactics to overpower enemies. Their goal was clear: to establish and maintain a dominant and expansive empire. This combination of technological superiority and aggressive military campaigns earned them the nickname the Empire Builders, and they are truly known as masters of war. All of these elements highlight how their military prowess was central to their success and helped shape their place in history. Among the greatest and most religiously significant finds in antiquity, this site truly stands out. It wasn't just a remarkable structure, it held deep spiritual meaning for the people who built it. Its significance goes beyond its size or architecture. It served as a religious center where rituals and ceremonies took place. It also symbolized the power and authority of the city itself, demonstrating their devotion to their gods and their political strength. The purpose of this structure was to be a massive, stepped temple building designed to reach towards the heavens. And what is it? It's known as the Touching the Sky, the mighty ziggurat. This name reflects its towering form and its role as a bridge between the earthly and the divine. So, when we think about this ziggurat, we see it not just as a construction feat, but as a powerful symbol of faith, authority, and the human desire to connect with the gods. It really encapsulates the essence of the ancient world's religious and cultural ambitions. Let's talk about the beginning of record-keeping, literature, and other developed types of writing. This marks a huge milestone in human history because it allowed us to document ideas, transactions, and stories. One of the earliest methods involved wedge-shaped marks pressed into clay tablets, which is quite fascinating. These marks weren't just random. They served as a systematic way to communicate complex information. This brings us to the medium itself, clay tablets, believed to be the world's first system of writing. It's incredible to think that such simple materials could support the foundation of written language. Now, what is this system called? It's known as cuneiform, and it's recognized as the first writers in history. Cuneiform didn't just change how people recorded information, it really changed the world. It laid the groundwork for all subsequent forms of writing and record-keeping, shaping civilizations and societies for thousands of years. So, when we consider the origins of writing, the impact of these early innovations is truly profound. This slide highlights the iconic monument that bears the laws of Hammurabi. It's inscribed on a large stone stele, meant for everyone to see and remember. This stele is famous for the eye for an eye principle, which emphasizes justice through proportionate punishment. It reflects an early effort to formalize laws and establish order in society. The principle behind the code is one of the earliest examples of lawmaking, showing the desire to create fairness and consistency in justice. Ultimately, the Hammurabi Code embodies the idea of justice for all, laying the groundwork for future legal systems. It ties into the overall theme of how early civilizations sought to organize society and uphold fairness through written laws. Innovation and water can truly change the world. On this final slide, I want to emphasize the lesson we've learned from Mesopotamia. Their achievements are still remarkable today and continue to influence us. For example, their development of art and architecture shows a deep understanding of design and creativity. They also developed the sexagesimal system, which is a base 60 system used for measuring time and calculations, something we still use today in minutes and seconds. Their contributions to math and science laid a foundation for future advancements. Remember, your story starts here, with the legacy of Mesopotamia. It's a powerful reminder that innovation, combined with water management, can shape civilizations and change the world.